appears to me that looking down one's nose is not a great way to get Christians on your side.
Marshall,
and I'm
as
not
a Christian,
as a Christian, the other gentleman was doing that exact thing.
Marshall, what kind of Christian are you?
I'm Presbyterian.
Well, exactly. So you can't speak for all Christians, by the way.
I'm not speaking for all Christians. I'm speaking for
branches.
myself.
No, shut up.
And what I'm saying is looking down your nose at other Christians because you don't believe in God does not exactly get you to where you want to be.
You don't speak for everyone, so shut the fuck up.
You're missing the point. I'm talking about not looking down your nose at somebody. It's not that hard. Just don't do it.
I know that. I know what you're saying.
But
you
can't
speak on behalf of a real Christian community when you've got the Westboro Baptist Church in that same branch.
I'm not a fucking Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah, but you said Christian. They're Christian. They're Christian. They're Christian. So you said Christians as a whole. You can't speak for a whole fucking community based on what your understanding is. You need to define it. If you're going to speak in such a language, in such a good... Mate, just listen to me. I'm saying this for your own good. I'm a Catholic. If you're going to speak for the community, just watch what you're going to say. That's all I'm saying.
Looking down one's nose is not a great way to have public relations. It's nothing.
He might not be. But he might not be. Maybe that's just his view and his personal opinion. That doesn't mean it's right or it's wrong, and it doesn't mean you speak
wonderful thing about being a Christian.
What I heard, Marshall,
I can speak my piece.
You don't speak for Christians, okay?
But what I heard Marshall say,
it's a cultural difference. I know in where you're from, there's a lot of I don't want to say division, but there's clear differentiations between the different groups.
There's Christians. I am not of the Westboro Baptist Church, and I am not a Mormon. So it doesn't matter where I'm from. I know my history. I studied it for 14 years, and I've got a degree in fucking theology, mate. I don't need to put that on fucking Clubhouse. But by the way, don't speak down to me.
You've got a degree in theology, but you keep using profanity. What kind of a degree in profanity is it?
He can't speak on behalf of all Christians because he can't. And
it's like, I'm so sad.
He never said that. I've got it in black and white if you want me to share it.
That's exactly
what I was responding to,
Marshall. Down your nose is exactly
Marshall, what I was responding to is when you pivoted from addressing Benjamin looking down his nose, like, I don't agree with that either. I think it's stupid. Benjamin annoys the fuck out of me, right? But you pivoted to say, when atheists and anti-theists do X, as if we're some sort of unified group. That's what I was responding to, Marshall.
Sure, but I was very clear to separate you from the people I was criticizing. I was very clear to say, not you. I don't think you're the person.
I think if you're addressing someone that's being condescending, you should address that person and not try to bring other quote group members in, because honestly, there's no one in any group with Benjamin. Period. He's on his own.
And the whole group thing, I agree. I mean, we too often refer to a speaker as a member of a group, and then take those characteristics and say that fits the whole group, and Benjamin's an idiot on his own, and that shouldn't affect the opinions to other atheists. That said, that is a very human characteristics. You know, atheists are kind of known as arrogant because enough of their group members come across as arrogant when talking to religious people who believe in a Scott Eddy, and that is generally the perception people have, and that perception is often applied to individual members, even if it's not warranted.
The energy that my Christian friends put into defending a God who kills children is admirable, Marshall, and I nothing but respect for your efforts and your energy.
Benjamin.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Benjamin, nobody spends time defending genocide. That's just your frame. You're a fucking loser, moron, low IQ retard. fucking retard. It's just your brain, you fucking idiot. You moron, you fucking retard. Oh, good. It's just your friend, you fucking idiot. You're so fucking stupid. Fucking retard. Dip in.
Oh, no, you're good.
What do you want to be called?
Leslie, is that your pizza? It looks like Parker Post. No.
Huh.
Looks like somebody else.
Huh? It was like a mullet, I guess.
Yeah. Got some shit done today, guys. I'll admit it.
Looks like you're in burger.
Had to.
I guess.
Randy, you're fucking weird.
Yeah, you don't know the half of it, baby. You think I'm
Sorry.
weird? You have no idea how weird I
I was like, this
am.
motherfucker came into
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, I'm not the shy guy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I get kicked from every room. I eat you, dog.
I just thought I'd try to mention to Marshall, because he came to a tennis match and then he was offended at people slinging rackets. And Marshall, when Scott opens a room and I come in, right, we get out our game and we warm up and then we serve, right?
Was it
And
like
that
a
serve
mac
is
and
gonna
roll
be-
clubhouse?
It's gonna be an overhand serve, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
give
Benjamin,
somebody
what
that
the thing
serve.
is you always think you're playing tennis. Some of us are just fucking sitting down
It's like
I
jigsaw puzzles
understand, but
together.
I came
Like,
here to play tennis with Scott.
most of us like to
Scott-
put jigsaw
Scott
puzzles together. Like,
It's
we're not
definitely
playing
Scott
mac
tennis.
and roll
understands tennis. He and I know how to play. If you don't, I mean, feel free to watch or whatever, but I don't think it's quite, I mean, I'm sorry that you got offended, but, you know, if you don't understand the game of tennis, you don't like the game of tennis, that's fine. Just sit
It's
and
not
watch.
about tennis. It's about etiquette.
You can't get offended if your opinion is real.
Look, when I serve,
It's like
Scott,
shaking somebody's hand or showing up in a suit.
Yeah, but you can't get offended.
I
If
will
your
absolutely
opinion
shake
of your
Scott's
view is
hand.
real, you can't get offended
Scott
by
knows
it.
that I'm not looking down on him. I respect Scott.
She didn't
He's a
get any
pastor
fucking
of my church, okay? I am not looking down at
I
Scott.
used to follow him, and he doesn't follow me back anymore for some
I didn't say you were looking down at Scott. I said you were looking down your nose. And I maintain this. Your comment and the way you made it looks down at people that believe the opposite of you. You are fine to call that a tennis serve if you like. But in my book, it's just like shaking somebody's hand or moving out of the way when somebody needs to use the door.
Who's
It's
that?
just
So?
etiquette.
Yeah, but when Scott and I have a theological back and forth, we take it a lot more serious. Right? It's not tiddlywinks. I give him my fastest serve, and he comes back with his volley. And Scott does his best work against my work.
You're missing the point. Just don't be a dick. It's not that fucking hard.
It's not
Guys,
a it's
listen,
tennis.
if
You
your
just don't
truth
understand
is
the
your
game.
truth, there's nothing to be offended by, so get over yourselves.
Yes, because the last person I'm going to be taking advice from is somebody from Great Britain.
well, it's like
I'm not in Great Britain.
This is the problem. Is
See,
that
this is the problem.
Benjamin can't not talk about people.
And Marshall opened his mouth and then he just
No,
shut
talk
up.
about
God.
ideas, Benjamin. Let's talk about
my
ideas.
goodness. Yeah, here's an idea.
You
There's a
cannot
God
talk about
that
the
is so close to
idea.
our
I'm actually
spirit.
from Belarus. Did you know that? And also Bermuda. I'm half Bermudan and half Belarusian.
What was that again, Kathy? You're half what?
Oh, I said I'm half Bermudan and half Belarusian, but
Bermudan. Okay.
yeah, half
Bermuda?
But I can't even say it, Bermudan and half Belarusian. And I live
Is that
in the UK.
Bermuda?
But if you don't want to take advice from anyone in the UK, maybe you shouldn't vote for people who support people who take information from the UK and take don't be hypocritical.
I like
That
the
comment
UK.
was almost like looking down their nose at people from the UK. Almost.
Yeah, well, no, but there's the thing. In the UK is actually like four and a half different countries. So the UK is just a bondage of 4 countries. So if he says he doesn't want to take advice from anyone in the UK, maybe he needs to look at where he's getting his advice from, find out where they're related from, and then also
I don't
see
want to
where
get
they're
advice
based.
on our government from somebody
So
who
where'd you take your advice
lives in the
from?
auspices
Where'd
of
you take
one
your
of the
advice from,
greatest
mate?
empires in world
Where'd you take your
history.
advice from?
Again,
Well,
I'm
Marshall,
not going to take advice from somebody
your president
who's part
is
of the
the
greatest
No,
empire in the world.
Well, where'd you take...
Alexandra, no. And you laugh like that?
Yeah, I like this guy.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Low IQ Dumb People talking about nothing and wasting all their time because they're bored and lonely!
Not a single eye is dry. Oh, God. Okay, we have to do something. Oh, gosh. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
We fucked off his legs.
Okay, go back.
I don't understand all this. I beat this guy up, I then did this. You know what? We're not fucking 13 anymore. He's a grown man. Honestly, if you had a job and you actually had a fucking normal life, you would not worry about beating a phantom guy up on the street. On one occasion, I'm gonna go there and grab his feet, and then I'm gonna do this. There was too much fucking Superman, these guys. I mean, if you had a real job, you'd be worried about going to work in the morning and paying your fucking bills, not fighting some degenerate at 3 o'clock in the morning on the street. You know, I blame Joe Rogan. That's who I blame. Everybody wants to be some fucking jiu-jitsu guy now. He's just gay.
Yeah, and it's very, very alluring. No, that's not the word. What do you say, upphetsande, Lia, in English?
Well, I think Tekken is right. Okay? The reality is you get into a street fight, some dickhead pulls a knife on you and it's finished in 2 minutes. No one's gonna hang around waiting for you to say, let me get on the floor so we can fucking cuddle for a while. They're gonna fucking stick a knife in your head while you're cuddling, so nobody with an idiot would fucking get in a street fight.
No, but I mean, like, isn't it has to do with the frontal lobe, right? Like if you get a lot of blows to the frontal lobe, or if it's not fully developed, like, yeah, the
It's just
27.
called being a retard, that's it. I mean, most people here are retarded. You know, I don't understand it. It's always, look at me, I'm a hero. They can't pay their fucking gas bill, but they're a fucking hero. That's what I don't understand. These guys, you go to the bar with them and they're like going to the toilet as soon as it's time to pay around. That's what we're dealing with here. Real tough guys.
Oh, okay. It doesn't sound very sexy, but when it comes to the other part of it, like the fighting part, the testosterone thingy, that's very, yeah. That's the thing that creates creamy pussy. Have you heard of that?
You know what it is. I tell you what it is. Most of these guys...
Creamy pussy?
No, what it basically is most of the guys who pretend they can street fight or they do boxing and things, most of them don't actually have any real strength. The difference is I think people who have real strength are people who climb and do actually have flexibility. There's a difference between just sitting at the gym and pumping weights all day and actually being strong. I take it back. I think most boxers tend to have a mixture of strength and balance.
But at his age, Ludwig, he should be doing fucking yoga and not trying to fight people. He's like fucking 50.
He comes on here all day long, 40 hours a week, talking bullshit, wasting all his time. I don't think he's worked a day in 4 years.
Like, also, I was just thinking that,
Free Palestine, Allahu Akbar!
do you think that parkour would be like
Kaibo status.
that you would respect more?
What is parkour?
It's like jumping on buildings and without killing yourself.
Again, I'm not 17 years old. He's just a YouTuber who has no common sense, jumping from building to building. Again, this is not a sport. It is just people with nothing to do. Like I say, people don't have anything to do, so they do this shit.
Yeah, but maybe we should like masturbation could be a thing again, right?
No, that
It was
is
very popular in the 80s, 90s when everyone had like, they did it with the magazine. Maybe that could be like popular again.
Look, guys don't talk about fighting. If you put Ludwig in a room with another guy, he's not gonna talk about fighting for 2 hours. They just do it when the ladies are around. It's like being back at school. It's
But what do they talk about when we're not around?
nothing. They don't fucking talk to each other. They just wait for a girl to come into the room. That is how Clubhouse works. You ever get 2 guys in a room? Have you ever walked into a room with 2 guys talking, or 3? Ever?
No.
In your life?
No.
Exactly.
Wow. Feels like I just understood the universe.
Well, this is the Clubhouse universe. You can go through your entire corridor and you find a room with more than 3 dicks in there and no girl. There's no such thing. Unless they're homosexual, of course.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. But do you maybe have some proper explanation about why you get so much dick pics? And also, who decided that this is a proper gift to give to someone when you haven't even said hello? Like, why?
Are you asking me about dick pics?
Yeah, do you know, like, why do men do that? Have you heard anyone talk about that?
No, I don't understand that. I never understood the dick pic thing. I think it's kind of a way of maybe... Do they show their face or just their dick?
No, it's just a dick. Like, no hello, no, like, friend request, no nothing, just a dick.
Yeah, I think it is just a shock factor. I reckon there are some women out there who say thank you and respond. I think it is the 1% they're waiting for. You're pretty much guaranteed to get laid, right? If somebody replies to a dick pic.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's so much dick pics. Like, there's so much dick pics, it's crazy.
You're talking 1%. You've got to have 100 dick pics for everything.
There's a lot of dicks out there.
There's a lot of dicks out there, definitely was there. And that's the crazy part about this, because it's so much dick, and it's like it's not even that beautiful cocks. It's just dicks, and I don't understand why this is.
Well, it's not a bouquet of flowers. It's a dick.
Yeah. Norman, yes, you can. You can ask me anyone who has an answer to this. Why it has become a thing where male specimen sends you photos of their genitalia with no text, no nothing, just schluff. And I mean, like,
they like to surprise women sometimes.
Yeah, but the surprise thing is like, yeah, but you have to have something to surprise with. It's like
That's what they consider surprising.
surprising.
You see, in some countries, surprising could mean minuscules.
Yes.
In other countries,
It could mean baklava. In one country,
yes.
maybe a dick in another.
That's right. That's right.
It's just so weird. It's like, but I also feel sad for it because of, I mean, like, yeah, I would feel like really bad if I sent photos of my vagina and I didn't even get like a single comment back, and just because it feels stupid and
Could you imagine sending a vagina with a blue waffle?
A vagina with a
That would
blue
be crazy.
waffle. What is that? What's a blue waffle?
There was another second
Blue
next.
waffle is
No, I never heard of
like,
it. Tell me everything. What's a blue waffle?
Yes.
it's a very nice ingredients which makes the vagina look very exciting.
A blue waffle.
Blue waffle.
I believe there's a website that I can't remember. I think it was bluewaffle.com. I can't remember it, but
Yes.
one of the most.
You sound more interesting in your native language.
You do. This guy sounds like a troll.
Not speaking good. Alexander, do you think not speaking good English hold you from having an interesting personality? Are you trying to make fun of me? Or like make me feel as if I'm like someone that you can make fun of? So I look like I'm stupid right now? Is that the plan? Because if it's the plan is to make me feel stupid, you succeeded. Yeah.
Wait, I just realized that the reason I'm truly here is because it has the bacon emoji.
It's so nice.
Boo Boo's here for the laughs.
See?
Yeah.
Boo Boo, are you not sleeping in your caravan by now?
Open your legs and shut up.
You know, talking about... You spent a lot of time talking about penises, but you didn't spend any time talking about how difficult it is for single moms to raise their children these days.
Don't you need children to know that?
Hello, Mom. Well,
No, but I know Boo Boo, and I know Dr. Ann. Ooh, Batman is here! Look out! The defender of justice! The Dark Knight rises!
Someone explain to me why Norman is why are you so mean to me? What have I done to you? That's not very nice.
What did he say about you personally?
One more time, I'm gonna kick you out.
Don't, you're so emotional. Why are you upset?
He has sensitive hearing.
I prefer my guest. He's trying to go to sleep.
But Norman, I'm really curious. Where did you get that from? Why? He wrote like this. Alexandra, can I ask you this? Do you think not speaking good English hold you from having an interesting personality? Do you sound more interesting in your native language? The thing is that when I relax and have the same melody as I have in Swedish, I actually, it's easier for me to talk. But yeah, if you want me to sound more like this, biscuits and stuff like that, is that like the problem? Do you want me to sound like I'm British, or do you want American? New York? No?
Do you wanna be sounding like this? A little bit awkward, mate.
Oh, just...
You know what I mean?
Right next door.
Well, really, yeah, it is the truth.
Tell me how, what would you...
Right.
Is it you wanted to have cold, or is it biscuits, maybe?
could you do Indian, please, Alexandra?
Thank you, come again. I can copy the train.
Wait, do that Indian accent again.
Which one?
The Indian one.
Oh, thank you, come again. Thank you, come again.
Yeah, more. Sounds more like it.
Chinese, I would say.
Okay. I would be bored if I spent 12 minutes with you.
Can you say Allahu Akbar?
Please make me the best version of you. Oh, that's so evil. Why are you so... Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, welcome back, Dylan.
Oh, this guy's still here?
Back in the gay shirt I've ever seen, right? Thank you, Dylan. Thank you for putting on this shirt. Where did you find the shirt, Dylan?
On the Amazon.
Wait, hold on. This is Dylan. Oh my god. Alexandra, is this the same Dylan or a different one? Because I have a story about Dylan otherwise.
Han, is that Billy Corgan in like some Auschwitz outfit with pistols?
Shut the fuck up with it. Hold on. I have a really interesting story. Wait, Alexandra, was that the same Dylan or not?
Yeah, that was the same Dylan.
Alright, I have a story for you about Dylan. I didn't realize it was that Dylan.
Nice moves.
Nice moves. Zionists.
Right, but do you understand, Brett, that it's an oxymoron?
No, I know some anti-Zionist
But
Jews.
what's
Abby.
it mean? What's it mean?
So
What
okay,
do you
so
against?
Some mean you don't like the
What does it
Jews.
mean if you're anti-Zionist? Like,
no. So I mean, I can't.
half the Jews in the world.
Yeah, I can't really
right?
speak for them, but the feeling that I get is that they're kind of like hippies,
But
and they don't like any kind of war.
Like a lawyer trying to use a little logic
Wait,
here.
do you need to use speed
Right,
lane?
right next to our. What? Really? I noticed that there was a second
And it
seal.
depends on what kind of anti-Zionist Jew, because some of them are like highly
I noticed that there was
religious.
a second.
Some of them believe that if there is a homeland for the Jewish people, that it somehow detracts from religious faith.
But Poodle, what are they against? Like, what are they against? If you're anti-Zionist, because there's already a state.
It's
So
not
again,
just one.
it works,
Yeah,
the logic works.
there's different groups.
You said that in 1947.
Right.
Or like 46.
So-
but it doesn't work once there's a state. So explain to me, like, do they want half the Jews of the world to be gone?
I mean,
Like,
you don't think
they
somebody
don't want their-
No, I don't.
You don't
So
think
what do
somebody
they want?
consider themselves
I don't-
anti-Zionist and just be against further expansion?
What? But that.
Yeah, well,
Brett,
okay,
that
so
would
that's-
mean
there's
that
two
would
different-
mean
If you
Brett,
make up
Brett,
meanings for the words, yeah.
No, there's like two main groups.
Take the dictionary
That I
definition
know.
of the words, it's not that fucking hard.
Yeah, there's two main groups that I know. One of them is like kind of the spiritual, like Buddha, the Jew Buddhists, like very left wing hippies. They don't want any kind of confrontation with anybody. Very much idealistic in their own way.
Poodle.
So that's one
No,
group,
I
and
know
then the other guy,
a lot
yeah.
of very left wing people that will say it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying
Yeah,
to be logical. Did you ever ask them, well, what does that mean? What are you against? Like, what does that mean?
Oh
Explain.
yeah, okay. So
Most Jews that I meet that say
one-
they're
Sorry. Go ahead.
most Jews that I meet that say they're anti-Zionist, right, are basically, they don't think it's necessary to expel Palestinians, to exclude Palestinians. to
Exactly.
But that's not
additional
what
Palestinian
that's
lands.
incongruent.
It
correct?
was when
Cora?
the Zionist movement was initially established.
Okay,
It
but
literally,
Cora,
that
there's
was part
now a
of the
state,
tenets of it.
right? So go with it. Just stay with it. Like, I'm trying to go with the Socratic on this. There's a state. It
So there's
exists.
no more need for
I don't
Zionism.
think you do it. I don't think
Let's
you
go.
can do it. Socratic.
Okay, Cora, good point. So if there isn't, so what does it mean if
It
if
means
you
that
say that?
you're opposed to the further expansion
But are you
Yeah.
opposed to the
of
country?
Israel and the exclusion of Palestinians from the existing
Okay, wait,
Israel.
Cora, 20% of the country is Arab. 20% is
I'm well
Israeli.
aware of that, but
You know that, right?
Abby,
So-
Abby,
so-
in the original tenets of Zionism, exclusion of Arabs was part of it.
Where
Getting
was
rid
it
of
part
them
of
all
it?
was part of it.
Where was it part of it?
It was, oh my God.
Who
You
said
don't
that?
know the history.
Abby,
Yeah, believe me,
I
know
think
it.
the
I probably
definition.
know more than you'd be.
Oh my God! No big surprise. Cora's a Jew hater and an anti-Semite. No surprise there, Cora. I always knew it. I always knew it in my heart of hearts. You hate the Jews, Cora. You're an anti-Semite, Cora.
I'm getting muted. Cite your evidence.
Theodore Herzl and their Jud stuff.
Okay, cite it. Read it to me.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to step out of my criminal
I want the actual word.
There's no need for Zionism anymore. There's no need for security or enforcing laws or fighting terrorists. Zionism, no. Zionism's bad.
Okay, good.
Sorry, guys. Didn't go off on that. Can we
He's
just
still
talk about
here.
the basketball? Does anyone want to talk about
He's still here, double agent. Oh, he's still here.
Okay, everyone. Interrupt Abby.
Jane? Sorry, but we can talk about Arden at some point. I do want to talk to you about that because it's very cool that Playhouse was there. 3 of the 4 basketball teams that are in the Final Four have Jewish coaches. I do want to share that.
March Madness.
In March Madness,
Oh.
all 4
God
teams
is
are
a
one
Jew
seed,
hater.
3 of the 4, and Bruce Pearl is an ardent Zionist. Just sharing, but it's very, very good teams that are in.
So you think, you're pointing out that there's
3 out of the 4 coaches of the 4 top teams are Jewish.
Yeah, I am pointing that out.
Ah, no, I see. Well, thank you for the information.
Breaking stereotypes.
So, Abby, on the definition thing, I agree it is somewhat inconsistent with historical use of Zionism, but also why does that matter? If a modern Jewish person says it and the general concept is one that's accepted by Jewish people that say they're anti-Zionist,
But it's not accepted.
but I'm just saying, I know some liberal Jewish people, but
Cultural Jews, not religious Jews.
Like words.
But I'm asking you to ask those people when they say it to you. I mean, because you have a good mind to pull stuff apart. Ask them to say, well, what?
I don't.
What are you against?
If people say. If people say a meaning, and I did, I asked them, like, what are you actually for? And the answer I got was, I don't want any more expansion. Like, I'm okay with accepting that. That's what that person believes.
For everyone, I just want to make it clear, there's somebody asking in the chat a couple of questions, so maybe people can answer those questions.
Jeremy is a low IQ Canadian dingbat who wastes all his time here talking stupid shit with talking apes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't entertain his stupid questions.
You need to kick this guy from the room.
Kick double agent.
You're not being helpful.
Scott. No, I like Auburn, but I picked Florida. I mean, my money's on Florida, but I picked Auburn. Question in the chat.
I think it would be. I think it would be.
This is a controversial position, but I will never kick Edmund from the room because I find that entertaining.
Christian, moderate me.
I think it would be very helpful since we were talking about Zionism.
Marshall, you're in the Matrix, buddy.
Marshall, did you not pay your electric bills?
No, you should be asking about his Wi-Fi.
Marshall, how far are you from San Antonio? Or do you say San Antone? How are you supposed to say it?
I think he needs to figure out his internet.
No, I just had to connect to an internet modem. I'm 4 hours, 4.5 hours from San Antonio. What I was going to say was, we've been having this discussion about Zionism and not Zionism, and it seemed like it'd be helpful to actually read the definition of Zionism from Merriam-Webster. You know, the place where we get meanings for words. Zionism, an international movement originally for the establishment of a Jewish national or religious community in Palestine, and latter for the support of modern Israel. So, that's the actual definition of Zionism. Regardless of what people think it might be, that's what it actually is.
Somebody in the chat said Zionism was fraudulent.
How is it that I get kicked? Double got kicked. I don't know. I don't think Christian or
It was
Scott.
me. It was me.
Abby, could I give you an answer to your question that's different than anybody else?
Sure. My point is, I just believe, and we do this on Clubhouse, when people say stuff, break down their answer, break down their statement, and make people accountable for the generalizations that they give. Whatever position you are, whether you're to the left, right, you hate Israel, you love it, whatever your controversy is, and I was saying it's Socratic to do it, but it makes people sometimes take pause on what they're saying and realize what they're saying may not be what they mean. That's all.
But Abby, I want to convince you that there's a perspective of an anti-Zionist Jew that is actually very pro-Jew, but this is how I would do it. This is me.
But first, start with your definition of it, Benjamin, before you say what it is. Define the terms.
Well, basically, for me, this means somebody who thinks that the Jews should withdraw from the Middle East. And it would go something like...
Political issue. Don't bother, Benjamin.
It would go something like this. Islam has always expanded by war. Whoever lives at the edge of Islam and is not Islamic is going to be buying himself an endless war. And why should Jews put themselves in a position where they have to deal with Islam? Why not let other other parts of Europe be the border of Islam? Why does it have to be Jews? Let somebody else do it. It could be just one example. I just think it's not worth the effort.
Right, but my point that I said is that if half the Jews in the world live there, and you say you're an anti-Zionist, then are you against? Do you want the half of the Jews of the world to disappear? Like, if you want that place to be gone, then what? You know, do you see what I'm saying? Like, what are you against? Are you against someone who's sitting in the government? Are you against the whole place ever existing? Because it makes sense if you've had that position. I'm going to put something in the chat where there's a scholar making this argument that much better than I do. But I just believe when any time we hear stuff and someone is anti-Trump, I want to know what it is. You know, is it the policies? Does he hate the man? Does he hate his morals? Does he hate who he puts on as judges? Like, what is it? Just make people explain themselves. That's all.
Do you think that someone could say this? I mean, you know, this isn't my position. You know my politics on Israel. And first off, I wouldn't even swipe right unless that woman was like she's like an 8.5 at least. So otherwise, I would have swiped left. But what if somebody said something like this? What if somebody said something like, okay, what I think, I'm an anti-Zionist Jew or whatever, what I think is that all the Palestinians, all the West Banks should all be made Israeli citizens, and then there shouldn't be an ethno-religious state. I mean, would that be like a position that would be consistent, saying, look, I don't think all the Jews should have to leave Israel, but maybe they would say
it's a country. It exists as a nation. It's a non-starter. This is a nation. It exists. So move on from the fact that you don't have to justify, does it have a right to exist? It exists. It's a nation. We're not getting rid of Singapore and making it disappear tomorrow. We're not getting rid of Ireland and making it go away. We're not getting rid of Italy and making it go away. These are nations. This is a nation. It is a state. It exists.
But
now,
I agree. It's a
what are you against?
position.
Do you want to go? Do you want the whole? Do you want the whole place to not exist? What are you saying?
So, Abby, but in your definitional argument, and I'm not a big fan of saying the strict definitions because I think language does change, but in your definitional argument, Scott makes a valid point. You know, anti-Zionism to that liberal Jewish person could mean you just don't believe the ethnic part of a Jewish Israel. That
take
you
out
believe
the ethnic word. We have religious states.
Hang on, let me finish my point, Abby. I'm not saying I believe this argument. I'm just saying in the frame that you're making, if you're a liberal Jewish person, what you could mean is you believe in a pluralistic democracy and that pluralistic, you know, let's call this one-state solution for everybody that borders in Israel should work for populations there, and it should be an integrated society where everybody has the same
I don't
civil
understand what you
and
mean.
democratic.
Wait, stop. You just said an integrated society. Israel, 20% of Israel is Arab. There are Christians population in Israel. There is Baha'i. So what do you mean by integrated? That's integrated.
I would say that the Arab population in the West Bank and Gaza.
I asked you, number one, about the term.
I'm just saying definition.
Okay.
I'm just saying definition.
By a definition, if someone says they're anti-Zionist, are they against where half the population in the world of Jewish people live?
I think
I just asked that
going to Scott's point, definitionally, I think even historically, you could be against a Jewish state, not Jews living.
Are you against England? Which isn't that an Anglican?
Abby,
I'm just asking.
You're not listening.
I am listening.
No, you're not. You're making me want to stand by an argument I'm not even making.
You're strawmanning his argument.
No, I'm not strawmanning any argument. I'm not strawmanning any argument. I'm just saying
against a Jewish state.
Let me finish what I'm trying to say. Like the U.S. is not an ethnic state. It's not a religious state. It's a pluralistic democracy. You could be an anti-Zionist and just believe that Israel shouldn't have its Jewish character. It should be not based on Jewish identity. It should be more like the United States. And I think definitionally,
I think you could believe that, but then the question I would have...
Jason, let me finish my last few sentences. Could I finish my last few sentences? Is it possible? So I think that would fit into a definition of anti-Zionist.
I'm gonna defer to Jason, but I'm gonna ask you if England as an Anglican with the Church of England shouldn't exist as an Anglican country, and all the Muslim countries, especially Saudi, which is the keeper of the Muslim religion, should not exist anymore. Should every Muslim country go away, and should England, which does have a national church of England, should that not exist? So, Jason, why don't you take it from there?
Totally.
Yeah, I was going to say more or less the same thing. I mean, people who are against ethno-states typically are only against Israel. Or like when they advance this argument, then I say, okay, well, what about Japan? Is Japan bad? Is Korea bad? What about, many other ethno-states? I mean, Israel is not a very successful ethno-state if it is one, but they'll say, no, those are not ethno-states, or basically they don't care. And I think that's where, Brent, I think definitionally in a pure logic world, or pure logic sense, there's something to what you're saying. But then if you actually work through that question with those people, no other ethno-state qualifies but Israel.
But I think one of the quantitative differences is that, Japan, and I'm not arguing for this, I'm saying this is what a lot of people might say.
Hey,
Or
my
this is
virus.
what a lot of people
I'm
have
just
heard.
interrupting you on a process not to be a dick. But I would point out before I leave.
Wait a second, why are you calling me?
Why are all the non-Jews talking about Israel? That's really fucked up. But
Well, hold on. Abby asked us for our...
Because it's our little brother.
Abby asked us specifically for our...
It's because this is Clown House, and this is where reality and illusion match, where people who think they know something about everything, they actually don't know shit, and they live in their own delusions, but they come here to project the way they want to see the world.
My virus, Brent, when's the last time you were in Israel? Jason just got back, so I've given him...
Well, if you don't want my opinion, I won't say it then.
No, because when were you there last, my virus? When were you there?
Okay, so what I did is, you asked the question.
In the last year?
Well, I don't know how that could have... No, I didn't go.
Honest answer.
No, I didn't go. Yeah.
You've never been.
I was there in about 2019.
You've never been lying about it. Wait, hold on.
No, I haven't.
This is non-relevant to the basic question of what a Jewish person could mean if they said they were anti-Zionist.
I've given it to Jason specifically. Brett, just chill for a second.
I'm answering the original question.
My virus has never been there.
What could a Jewish
Yeah, but you
person
asked
mean
the room.
when they say they're anti-Zionist?
Exactly. You asked the entire room.
Now you're pivoting.
I'm not. Now you're saying you don't want.
Jason to
So what? Abby, do you want to answer the question or not?
The three of you guys, three people cannot have a conversation at once.
I consider myself a Zionist. I believe in the right of Israel to exist. But I guess if you ask a question, what could a Jewish person who says they're an anti-Zionist Jew mean and still be definitionally correct within the history of Zionism? That's what they could mean. That was my only point.
And Abby, you put the question to the entire room.
Matt, my advice, please stop getting personal.
Oh, no.
Just
she was
move
the one.
on.
Wait.
Move on and say your answer rather than challenging.
Okay.
Just let it go and contribute.
My answer.
My answer. Talk about it. We know.
My answer.
It's all about Japan. I got it.
Okay, my answer, because I don't know who was it that said, because
I said that with Japan it makes no sense, and
right. Okay, and so you
were saying it does for a quantitative reason.
Yes. What I was saying is that people or Jews who are anti-Zionist might say this because I've heard this argument many, many times, and I'm not saying it's my personal argument. And their argument is that Israel is a very new state, and that Japan has the world's oldest royal family going back 2,500 years, and that it's an island, and that the ethnicity of Japan is about 99.99% Japanese, and it's been like that for a very long time. Now, Jason, I know you like history as well, and there's, of course, different ethno groups in Japan, 3 main groups, but basically they've been like that forever, right? And so I would say, yes, again, that people, Jews who are call themselves anti-Zionist Jews, people that I know, they would say that the state should exist as I don't know. I mean, it depends on the person, but something like that. Yeah, that it's.
Okay, I mean that's
that
fair.
It shouldn't be a ethno state. But then you have to ask them directly, you know.
That's fair, but then you have to ask those people. Okay, well, what about all of the officially Islamic countries? You know, if they have this beef about countries that are officially some religion or some ethnicity, and well, okay, Japan is special, you know, but basically I've never talked with those people and gotten a sense that there is any country in the world besides Israel that qualifies as exclusionary in their view. Then you have people like Dean posting about apartheid. Well, apartheid has to do with one's own citizens, and all these laws this guy posted are about people who are not citizens of Israel. And that's like, again, like I suppose there is. I agree with you. Yeah, there could be logic or integrity to it, in theory, but then when you go past the surface, even the slightest bit, there isn't any.
Yeah, I mean, you really have. It really depends on the person. I mean, there might be some people who hate Netanyahu but are completely Zionists, or people on the far left that, you know, I mean, here's one of the problems, right? I think people on the left and the right often misunderstand about one another, is that people on the left sometimes they hate their country and they criticize it just because they hate it because they're idealists and they think like, oh, my country should, and okay, so they hate it, right? But there's some people on the left that criticize their country because they think that they can make it better, and they're idealists, and they say, you know, like, I criticize my government all the time, people criticize their own in-group all the time because they want their in-group to be held to like the highest of standards, right? So they're very critical of themselves. And sometimes people across the aisle on the right side may view those criticisms of the way things are, okay, because, you know, people on the right are typically conservative. They like to conserve the way things are. They view those folks as suspicious or like anti-in-group, right? So there's people with have different relationships with their own in-group, and they have different sort of taboos, and we can criticize these particular things about the people inside of our own thing, and so I mean, we're dealing with human nature here, right? We really have to speak to the individual person. No, we're dealing with the law mind virus, and that's what a lot of these Jew haters on this app don't realize, that when you break the law, you're outside the boundaries of reality, and you are now operating in delusions, and that's what a lot of these projectionists and propagandists on this app do all day long, 40 hours a week, 7 days a week. It's unbelievable what people do here. It's the epicenter of Jew hate and propaganda. Do you think that the law is a reflection of the reality?
What the hell is that?
Yes, stupid. The law is everything, you fucking moron.
Law in the United States where you don't live? Is that what you're questioning?
I'm not talking about. I'm asking a philosophical question, Abby.
Yeah, well,
the law is an ass.
It's a dumbass question.
Yeah, I'd rather hone in on one. It's a very good question. It's a very good question.
You're questioning what
I can ask any kind of question.
Is the result of our legislature or our judiciary, but it comes from the will of the people and the decision of the electorate to elect people to enact laws that represent what the public wishes. And right now, the public in the United States wishes for the violence, the harassment, the vandalism, and the absolute, intimidation to stop. And it wants it to stop now, and it wants people that are supporting and giving material support and resources to designated terrorist organizations to be arrested or to be deported if they're not citizens and they're here on a privileged visa, to not be in our country and disrupt our country. That's what the will of the people who put in a legislature, who put in laws, and feel free to read the U.S. Code if you have a problem understanding what the laws are. They're right there. And that's where it comes from. Do you understand that part?
It'd be great if the president would follow the law.
Well, the president
exactly.
is following
Here,
the law.
Billy.
You may not like the
He's
law,
fucking
Billy,
nuts.
and if you
Oh,
don't
he's
like
doing
the
so
law,
many
Billy, go
unconstitutional
talk to your
things. Come on,
legislator.
He's
in
behaving
Okay,
nuts.
Sarah, I'm gonna stop the conversation for just a second. Billy, I would like you to name me 3 quote unconstitutional things President Trump is currently doing. Go.
And cite the provisions of the Constitution that have been violated.
Abby, just
I can't do it.
We don't need to be all lawyers.
My memory's not working at this very moment.
Billy, I 100% agree with you. The man is insane.
Oh, no.
Really?
That's not what I asked.
Canadians, go figure out your law there.
I mean, really, we're not going to take Canada and make it the 51st state.
Abby, put a fucking muzzle on your president. He keeps saying stupid fucking shit all the time.
What's unconstitutional?
Your president is a fool.
I muted people intentionally. Billy, the question is, you say Trump is doing unconstitutional shit. Well, what is...
He's talking about running for a 3rd term, Marshall.
If you want to just hang out, Billy, I can answer your constitutional thing.
Hold on.
He's
Is it 4 years in the
talking
future?
about doing something that there's an explicit constitutional amendment about not being able to do. Oh, okay. So he says he wants to do something he can't actually do. Alright? Please, give me another
He's
example.
talking about invading other countries. That's just stupid.
He's talking about taking fucking Panama, and he's talking about possibly...
And Canada and
Greenland.
Greenland.
And if you think he's
They're their own
serious
countries.
about that shit, then you are out of your goddamn mind.
Then he should keep his fucking mouth shut.
So,
Then he should keep his fucking
Why don't you keep your fucking mouth shut, mind virus?
So here's the thing. You've named to me things you don't like that he's doing, not things that are unconstitutional. So Billy,
He's embarrassing you guys.
no. I'm not
the least
you,
little bit.
poodle.
You're really
I'm not
embarrassing
Billy.
Billy. Citing one provision of the Constitution.
Marshall, he left.
It's not that hard. I don't need people jumping in.
He's gone.
Billy,
He's gone.
What is something
He's gone.
unconstitutional he's actually
He is gone.
doing right now?
He's gone. Marshall, he's not here.
Okay, well, poodle, you can do it. What is something he is doing that it's unconstitutional? Because you
I don't give a
that line.
shit what he's doing that's unconstitutional. I think he's just acting like a fool. And the rest of the world is laughing at you guys because of him.
Projection! You're projecting!
How much they're laughing at us over all of our battleships, our Marine Corps, our Navy, our Air Force, which is the largest in the entire fucking world. Remind me how much the people who hate us for the tariffs are ripping up mutual defense treaties. Oh, they're not! That's the fucking point. If they were really genuinely offended with Americans in the way people to the left say that we're losing all of our alliances, then we would be losing mutual defense treaties. And we're fucking not. Canada,
Give it some time. Give it some time.
Stop.
Give it some time.
Canada and
You can't defend yourself.
despite the
Hold on a
fact...
minute.
Dude, we're gonna take over the United States. We're gonna take over Washington like we did twice already.
Hold the fuck on.
Who are you gonna take
You
over
can
Washington?
fight
What
yourself
fucking
out of a wet
universe?
paper bag, okay?
Are you guys getting down and apologize for burning it down?
You can't even win a Stanley Cup and you got all those hockey players from there. Yeah,
That
you're
was
gonna
the
do that.
British Empire. That was the British. See, you can't claim that.
That's always my point. Like, is he gonna burn it down again, and is he gonna apologize to us about burning it down on the way out after burning it down?
No, we should have done it a third time.
He's just a mind virus. Ignore it. It's a gaslight statement. He's a mind virus. Marshall kicked me. Woo! Marshall kicked me. Oh, I'll just have to go to another account to go back in. Don't want to interrupt anybody's dopamine flow. Don't interrupt Marshall's dopamine. He'll kick you.
I'm not joking. They stole like 50% of Canada's mint reserves in like 2018. It was like I didn't know there was such a thing as a maple syrup reserve.
I just want to point it out in the chat.
Tell us about your strategic cheese reserve, you fucking colonite.
In the chat, Matt Cool says that.
Here's Jeremy. Alright, we're gonna show these motherfuckers.
Okay, Chaim, or whatever the name is, because it's definitely not Chaim. So, no, any of these students that are on visas are here at the privilege of this country, and they have laws and obligations.
Having so many students are going to the United States now, though. It's not good.
You want to pretend you know the law because you don't know
No,
the
but
law.
what about green card holders? What about
Green
permanent
card
residents?
holder
Them
is
too?
a form of